Today in court on Tuesday, June 10th, we had more witness testimony, and a lot of it was just establishing timeline. For instance, Pamela Jackson, who is considered the Hopkinton welcome lady, talked about visiting the Entwistle family soon after they moved into their 6 Cubs Path home in Hopkinton, and described the relationship between the Entwistles and between Neil and Lillian Rose. We also heard from Michael Sheehan of the Massport Authority, who told details of Neil Entwistle's comings and goings at the Logan Airport parking garage, including paying at Terminal 666 for his parking and showing some video and photos of the car coming and going. We also heard from Julie Ann Alois from a bank where she described how Neil took out or tried to take out, in some cases, money from the ATM, from a couple of different ATMs, was successful a couple of times and was denied several times from accessing the money. She also talked about how he had more than $2,000 in overdraft in the account that he shared with Rachel. We also heard from 2 British Airways employees who just talked about details of him buying the ticket to go back to England, how he had no luggage, talked about boarding, just some standard stuff. And the last person we heard from was Hopkinton police officer Aaron O'Neill, who was one of 2 Hopkinton police officers to do the first of 2 well-being checks, the first one being on January 21st. And he talked about how everything seemed normal when he was there. Perhaps the more interesting and compelling witness that we heard from in the midst of that was Joanna Gately of Quincy. And she was a college friend of Rachel's, and she talked about her relationship with Rachel, how they met, things like that. But she also described the events of January 21st and January 22nd, when on January 21st, the day after Rachel and Lillian were killed, how she and her sister Maureen went to the house in Hopkinton because they had an appointment, and found the note that Priscilla, Rachel's mom, had left earlier in the day saying that she was looking for them. They also had an appointment. She was concerned. She talked to Priscilla several times. Then they decided to call the police for that well-being check. And while the police were there, Joanna let the dog out. They have a basset hound. Let the dog out to use the bathroom, and left a note for Rachel and Neil, just letting her know that they were there. She and Maureen decided actually to stay in the driveway because they were so concerned that nobody was there. They stayed in the driveway hoping to catch them when they came home, and actually ended up sleeping in the driveway, were there overnight. So the next day, on January 22nd, got a key code for the garage from a neighbor, was able to go in the house, looked around, everything seemed okay. The TV was on in the living room. There was classical music playing in the baby's room. The light was on in the master bedroom. And she actually said that she walked by the bed that ultimately Rachel and Lillian were found underneath a comforter on to get to the bathroom. And after going through the house and realizing that everything seemingly was okay, she left to go to the police station to get some details because Priscilla had just filed a missing persons report, and then she went home. And so that's the gist of what happened in court on Tuesday. On Wednesday, testimony will continue. We don't know. We still, we won't know who's testifying each day unless somebody's continuing from the day before. So we will have to stay tuned. Come back to this website to find